It was madness.
She was so anxious about it that she did not post about the ribbon cutting until 24 hours before. There was like 10,000 people just lined up in the mall.
When I was cutting the ribbon, I could see the Nordstrom that I put in my 2 weeks notice to do YouTube.
Shut up.
I was so emotional. I went back and launched my lipsticks, which then became the biggest cancellation in the beauty community, I would think.
Everything that she had worked for crashed.
We sold hundreds of thousands of SKUs. I worked on my lipsticks for years, okay? And my audience believing in me has always been my number one thing. I could not turn on my phone without seeing something about me. And it wasn't just about the lipsticks. People were digging into my father. He was a narcissist and she's just like her father. That period of my life bloated and got so inflamed. I was going through one handle in like 3 days. That's why I reference this time of my life when I say it was the hardest time of my life. You guys ready for this? Mm-hmm. Grab the popcorn.
Welcome back, everyone.
Woo!
Part 2.
This is special.
We've never done this before.
We
Two-parter. Two people, two-parter.
As look at him go. A man
He's on a
of his
roll. A man of many words.
words. Man of many words. As Jaclyn would say, welcome back to my... Can you just say your thing?
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. For today's video,
We're going to be diving into part 2 of The Squeeze.
yes.
Some juicy stuff.
Make sure you subscribe. And
Yes. Hit that notification bell. Don't forget to like, leave a comment down below letting us know how much you love the Tays. My radio voice.
That was really good.
Yeah, it is good.
Thanks, guys.
Very good.
I've done this a few times.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Just a couple.
She's going to charge us for that.
Yeah, frick. Gotta start saving up. Okay, let's dive into this makeup world. I know a very like overview, no details type of thing. Taylor has freaking no clue what, if you've been canceled, how you have been and why you have been.
So
love that.
I'm so excited.
I love that.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah, the popcorn is nearby, right? Okay, great.
I will be just here.
Great. Yes.
I'm gonna just do this for everyone's ears.
The sound of the crunch is so good, though. Like, it just makes
Yeah.
it
It does
so much
actually
better.
sound nice.
Like, when something's getting so deep, and Taylor's just like,
I actually do feel like you would be really good at ASMR videos.
really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This.
Yeah.
With a little bit of his voice acting.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
I like it.
Sprinkle it over. Okay. So let's start from the beginning of makeup.
I would
Great.
appreciate that.
What got you into makeup?
My mom and my sister were glam girls, like glam all the way. My grandmother, I'm not like, you said, let's start from the beginning. I'm like, so grandma.
Yeah.
In 1912.
Literally, my grandma was such a glam girl that she would not check the mail without a full face of makeup on.
Okay.
Glam girl. She was a
Okay.
Mary Kay girl. She did all the things. Yes. So it's like in the family's blood to
Yeah.
be a glam beauty girl. And my mom always let me express myself with makeup from a very young age that I'm very grateful for. Because, you know, a lot of moms are really strict. A lot of dads are really strict.
Right.
My mom was always just like, have fun with it. Enjoy yourself. You're not going to go out looking like a clown. But
Yeah.
when I was home, I was allowed to play with makeup as much as I wanted. So all the makeup that my mom and my sister would buy and not like, or it would dry out or whatever it was, they'd put it in a shoebox and I would keep that shoebox in my room. And then that was my play makeup. And that started when I was like 5.
Oh wow.
Yeah, super young.
Oh, so this is like it's in
A
your
long
blood.
time coming.
Always been into
Yeah.
makeup. Always did my girlfriend's makeup for, you know, all their school dances. I was homeschooled, so I didn't get to like do any of those things.
wow.
But seriously, I didn't get to do those things.
Wait, I don't think I knew that.
You didn't know I was homeschooled?
Your
Like
whole life.
your whole life?
I got pulled out. Here we go. We're going to get deep again. Sorry. When I was in 3rd grade, I got pulled out because I was so badly bullied. I was beaten up. Yeah, I was beaten up pretty bad, actually. It was the day of the book fair, and my mom gave me $50 to go buy books. I loved books. Loved. I had a huge collection. And I was young. I was 8 years old, right? I was 8 years old. I'm looking at him as if he was there.
Yeah,
And you got jumped at the book fair?
I did. I got jumped at the book fair. I can obviously talk about it in a light way now, but it was really awful. I was really badly bullied in school. And not for any reason other than there was a few of us girls who were just bullied. They were just mean. They just like spit on us and push push us off the playground and things like that. And then one day at the book fair, I was like in one of the back aisles looking. I literally remember I was looking at an Arthur book. And some 3 girls came up to me and they were like, we know you have money. We know that you've got money on you to buy books. And they kicked my ass, gave me a bloody nose, punched me in the stomach, kicked me in the head. And my mom was like, we're pulling you out. So my parents pulled me out and homeschooled me.
Did they want the money?
Yeah, they took my $50.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Now, looking back, I don't remember. I'm sure I bragged. I'm sure at some point earlier in the day, I was like, I have $50 to buy books. Like, I'm sure I was so excited.
Probably.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, it still does not in any way excuse it, but I'm sure I was very much giving that energy. Like, I could not wait to get my Arthur on,
Wow. So the book fair was your last chapter of public school.
period.
Let's stick with the weed one from last episode.
Got you.
That was really good. Okay,
Yeah.
so then on back to the happier note.
Yeah.
When did you start making like makeup videos? Like what was that time?
Yeah, so I was 21 years old. And I was working at the MAC store. I worked at MAC Cosmetics, which is a makeup store. I worked there for 4 years.
Got it.
Wow.
And I worked at all different locations throughout Boston, Chicago, and Tampa every time I moved because things were very unstable in my life at that time. And so because of things being very rough and very unstable, we were just looking for places to sleep, looking for families, like our family members to like take us in.
Yeah.
And So I worked at all 3 different locations of those 3 cities. And when I was working at the Chicago Woodfield Mall, I discovered a couple of girls on YouTube. And this was so new. Like this was like, no one had more than 50,000 subscribers. Like this was new.
Yeah.
It was like a phenomenon. And I thought it was so cool that people were recording themselves doing this online. I was like, holy moly, I've never seen anything like that ever.
Yeah.
So I decided I was doing makeup on a client one day in the MAC store and she was like, you would be so good at something like that. I was like, really? So my mom bought me a camera. It took over a month to get to me because she bought it online. It was like $50. It shipped from Hong Kong. It took like 6 weeks to get to me. And the very first video I ever filmed, I actually deleted because it was literally so bad that I was like, this cannot remain on my YouTube channel. This was awful. It was filmed on my actual like web camera. It was so bad.
We might
my
need to
gosh.
see it.
No, it's gone.
It's gone.
It's gone. But I do still have like I think I deleted like my first 2, but the rest of them are still there. So I use my lamp, my Pure One Imports lamp as my lighting and stood there with my little camera and got to work.
Love it.
Had no clue it could be a job. Did not even know that was a thing.
So you were just filming yourself?
Yeah. How'd you know what you were doing? You were just winging it?
I was just winging it quite literally. I did a wing eyeliner tutorial in that video.
Oh.
Yes. So I wung it.
knew.
I just
big Jaclyn Hill fan here.
I got on camera and I'm like, hi guys. So today I'm going to be doing a look of Kim Kardashian on the cover of Glamour magazine. And I just did it. And I had no clue what would come of it. And I was like, Mom, you have to promise you're not going to tell anybody. This is so embarrassing. And then my really good friend, Micah, she posted it. She put it on her Facebook. She's like, you need to be proud. This is so cool. I was so humiliated. But I stuck to it because I started getting people commenting on my videos, just being like, oh, thanks so much for teaching me about this eyeshadow. Or thanks so much. I didn't know this. I didn't know that. And I was like, this is so cool. I'm like helping girls out.
Yeah.
And then that just snowballed. I mean, I didn't make a penny, not $1 for, at least 6 months because I didn't know it could be a job.
Right.
Yeah.
And then I got my first email from Google saying like, you're now eligible to make money through Google AdSense off of ads. And I was like, what? Like lost my mind.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
Got my first paycheck for $300, screamed and cried.
Oh.
I was like, all I have to do is just make videos and teach girls makeup. Like I get to play with makeup on camera and then make $300. Like this is a dream.
Yeah.
And then that snowballed.
How long had you been doing, YouTube, building your online presence until you did your first Morphe collab?
Okay, hold on. Let me think. It feels like it was so much longer than it actually was. I want to say, I keep looking at you for answers, even though you were not there in this period of my life. No, he was not. I want to say my first Morphe collab was like 4 years in, maybe even 3. It was not that far in at all.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
I
I
discovered
didn't know
them
that.
quickly. Think about it. I started working with them like 10 years ago. And my career is only 13 years in.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
How much had you grown online between that time?
When I collabed with Morphe, I was well over 1 million followers on YouTube. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was like around there. So I was like 1 million followers in, yeah. Morphe and I really grew together. It's a makeup brand. I discovered them really, really, really early on. They only had one small store in Burbank. And then I'm the one that blew Morphe up. And I don't say that in a way of like cocky or arrogance. I say that because that is a fact.
Yeah.
So I'm best friends, as you
I was
guys
going to
know.
say, you can't say that.
I was going to say, they've become friends now with my best friend, Linda.
Yeah.
She was the founder of Morphe and then sold the company after a couple of years of us doing business. And I mean, her and her brother will very gladly tell you that I was the one that they were like, what the hell just happened? Their website crashed. They had thousands upon thousands of orders. They had to hire all new staff. They were sleeping in their warehouse on mattresses. They're like, what just happened?
Wow.
She reached out. She's like, do you want to become an affiliate? And we can create a code for your followers to save money. And I was like, why would they save money? Your eyeshadows are only $2. They don't need to save any more money. Like no one does. Like your brushes are $4 a piece. And she was like, well, no, we could still create a code where your followers earn, where you earn commission. And then your followers would also get 10% off. So it's like a win-win. And I was just very much like, I don't see the point in this because like, it's so inexpensive. No one needs to save money.
Yeah.
And I didn't know how much opportunity there was in like making money in that.
Yeah.
She's like, please just like, let me do this. That way, like I can pay you back and you can earn money. And I was like, okay. So I told my audience, hey, you use code JackAttack. And then I was like, oh, they love this. I mean, like just the first time I talked about code JackAttack, there was over 100,000 people that used that code.
Wow.
Like just like immediately. So then we got into business together. And then they expanded their affiliate program to hundreds of content creators after that.
So it was Linda and Chris from the very beginning that owned the company before it blew up.
Yeah.
And when you reached out to them and talked to them for the first time.
Yep.
That's where your relationship with Linda goes back to.
Yep.
Holy crap.
I know, 10 years ago. Yeah. Walked into the Morphe store one night right before they closed and Linda was there working.
The store was smaller than this room, by the way.
Yeah. Teeny,
And
teeny,
she was
teeny, tiny.
working in the store.
Yeah. She was working in the store that night. They
I
had
love
a
her
total.
so much.
I know. I love her so much.
Wow.
They had 12 employees at the time. Walked out with so much stuff, put it in my suitcase, went home, and then lost my mind. Got on camera and was like freaking out about it. Like, you guys, these eyeshadows are only $2. They're like basically like MAC. They're the same size. They have so many colors.
For reference, what did like a MAC eyeshadow cost?
$14 at the time. I don't know what they are now,
Okay,
but at
so
the time they were
$14
$14 and theirs were $2.
$2.
And that's the thing to like side off is everything good that's ever happened in my career and in my life has always come from such an organic place for me.
Yeah.
So it's like I started YouTube not knowing there was money to be made, and then I made
Yeah.
a ton of money doing it.
Yeah.
I got on camera freaking out about these eyeshadows, and then that became the Morphe times Jaclyn Hill business became the biggest business for both my best friend and myself that I've ever seen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, but everything always started off from such an organic place of love. So that's why anytime someone's like, what's your best piece of advice? I'm like, don't get into it for the money. Don't do anything. If your heart's in it, do it. No matter if the price tag is big or small, the money follows the passion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I've learned.
Yeah.
Great advice.
Yeah.
So what was that time like? Because I feel like I've seen like videos of like the stores or like you just like I'm sure it was just like freaking madness during that time.
It was madness. It was madness. He came in at the tail end of like that era, of like the
Yeah.
Jaclyn Morphe era. And it was actually insane. Like I couldn't wrap my head around it.
Gosh, I remember they were opening Morphe stores in all these different malls, and they were bringing one to Tampa, which is
Yep.
like our home base. Like everybody knows Jaclyn's from Tampa. She was so anxious about it that she did not post about the ribbon cutting until 24 hours before, and still there was like 10,000 people just lined up in the mall. They were everywhere, standing on the pretzel stand on the second floor. It was just I was just like,
It was
who
so-
is this?
You were
was-
there for that.
Yeah, I was there for that, but I was just like, what the hell?
What did I sign up
Yeah,
for?
I was like, oh
it was such a surreal moment because when I was cutting the ribbon, I could see the Nordstrom that I put in my 2 weeks notice to do YouTube.
Shut up.
So it's like in my peripherals as I'm cutting that ribbon, it was just a sea of people and I could see Nordstrom and I was so emotional. I cut the ribbon and then I went back and cried so hard. I'm like, oh my God, this is crazy. Like I literally worked at that Nordstrom right there at the Mac counter and put in my 2 weeks, taking a chance on myself to do YouTube full time. And here I am a few years later. Insane.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Beauty changed my life. Makeup changed my life.
So at what point?
Thank you, Grandma.
Literally.
Thank you, Grandma.
Yeah, Mary June.
Mary June.
Mary June.
Stop.
I know.
It's a great grandma name.
I know, it really is. Oh, God, I miss her.
Okay, I don't know if you guys knew this, but electrolyte deficiency or imbalance can cause headaches, cramps, fatigue, brain fog, and weakness. And I don't have time for that. And I know you sure as heck don't have time for that either. That's why I rely on Element. It is a zero sugar electrolyte drink. And I'm sure you guys have seen it. It's the LMNT. The branding is just spot on. I love it. But I don't drink water well. I have to like force myself to stay on top of how much water I should be consuming. And that's why I rely on Element to help me drink that water, because they have some amazing flavors and the water just tastes good. And there are so many benefits to electrolytes. It helps you maintain steady energy. You can improve your cognitive function, fewer headaches, fewer muscle cramps, better performance. It supports fasting, supports a low carb diet. It helps regulate digestion, keeps your skin hydrated. You can get better sleep. I could keep going, but I think you're getting the point. If you guys have not tried Element yet, you truly need to, and you can get the free Element sample pack with any purchase at drinkelement.com/squeeze. Also try the new Element Sparkling, a bold 16-ounce can of sparkling electrolyte water, which I love because I love sparkling water. But yes, go to Drink Element. That's drinklmnt.com/squeeze. You guys, let's get hydrated together. Go and get yours today. What if a shoe can infinitely enhance your day? I know that's a big sentence, but what if it could? Well, introducing Vionic Walk Max sneaker for him and her. This is the perfect all-day wear shoe while you're staying active or just on the everyday go. You guys, I feel like it is so hard to find a sneaker that is both comfy and cute and just like good for everyday use. And that's why I absolutely love Vionic. I have these shoes in white and they are super cute. They're comfortable and they're truly just like the all-around perfect sneaker. Something that I love is they are water repellent, and we travel a lot. We are going to London soon and it gets pretty rainy there. So that's why I'm really excited to bring these shoes and I don't have to worry about it. Another thing that I love is a good online shopping experience. I love to online shop, and I feel like sometimes these websites, man, they just don't have it going on. They don't know what they're doing. But shopping on Vionic's website truly is the easiest thing. It's a beautiful website. It's very aesthetic and they make it so easy to shop. I love it. You need to go check out their website. It's great. You can use code SQUEEZE at checkout for 15% off your entire order at www.vionicshoes.com. When you log into your account, this is a one-time use only. Vionic shoes, wearable well-being for your feet. Okay, let's talk about the lipsticks.
Yes.
Or was that your first solo launch, or what
Yes.
had you done before? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Give me those details because I don't know this.
I got you. I had only done collabs up until my lipsticks. I worked on my lipsticks, I want to say for 5 years. I put money aside for 5 years. I mean, from the time that I started making like substantial money, like more than just what my bills required,
Yeah.
I was putting money to the side because I wanted to create my own line. That was like a pipe dream for me when I worked at MAC. I'm like, it would be so dope to one day like create my own blushes. Like, oh my God, like that was such a far out dream.
Yeah.
That would be like me now dreaming of going to space. Like it's just never going to happen, but like how cool,
Yeah.
you know? So I was just putting money aside. I started, when I met Linda for the first time at the Morphe store, the reason that I was in California was to go interview different labs. So that's what I was doing there.
Okay.
Okay, and then I didn't launch my own cosmetic brand until like five or 6 years later. So that's how long it took me.
Wow.
And as I'm meeting with these labs, I'm gaining more and more followers, millions and millions of more people, higher engagement, higher sales. And I'm seeing my sales through Morphe, and I'm seeing like the power that I had of talking about a product. And I'm like, oh my God, how am I going to do this? Like I was started off, I was originally told it's going to cost $80,000 to launch the lipsticks that you want to launch. I'm like, okay, $80,000 for business. Okay. Well then, within 5 years, they're like, it's going to be more like 1.6 million because we're looking at my sales and how much I'm selling. So like when I would talk about, a product with Morphe, we would see how much would come in sales. And I'm like, oh my God. And if it's my own brand, what's it going to be? So I invested my own money and started my own brand. And I got partners, okay? Got partners right before we launched. Thank God. And launched my lipsticks, which then became the biggest cancellation in the beauty community, I would think.
Yeah, that was just like...
There was a crack in the earth, in my world.
It was, but the reason why is because it went beyond beauty. Like I had friends and acquaintances that I hadn't talked to in years that were sending me memes about her and her lipstick. Mm-hmm. Like it was so big that it just like, it was beyond beauty.
Right.
Truly. It was huge. Like people who weren't even in the makeup space were making videos about her.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah, it was.
So don't get it twisted. We're talking about this light right now because we just talked about a subject on the last episode that was so real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so much heavier than this that now I'm like able to talk about this in a light way.
Yeah.
But don't get it twisted. This was the darkest time of my entire life. And he says the darkest time of his.
Yeah, for sure. I always say when people ask me that, and they're like, what's the hardest thing you've ever dealt with? Well, my brother dying was the hardest thing I've ever dealt with, but the hardest thing I've ever gone through, by far, her lipsticks. Because at that point, we had been dating for like around a little less than a year, maybe around a year. And, you know, it was amazing. And those lipsticks, dude, when that whole thing went down, I literally lost her. She got lost in it. It was just like, she just went into this like insane depression because it was just like everything that she had worked for just literally crashed.
Yeah.
And it lasted for a couple of years.
Yeah.
For a
newbie like me.
Yeah.
Can you fill me in on what happened?
Yes. So I worked on my lipsticks for years, okay? Like redoing formulas, changing colors. I'm like, I just want it to be so perfect. Like I know that I'm going to sell so many. They have to be perfect. I'm such a perfectionist. Keep in mind at this point of my life, I had basically not even ever done a sponsorship or a brand partnership. I think I had done a total of 2 my entire career. I did one with Ulta and I did one with a eyelash company. And that's it. I literally did not take sponsorships or partnerships because I just wanted my audience to know how authentic I was. Yeah. Like I remember loving a blush, like loving this one blush. And a company reached out to me. The company of this blush reached out to me and offered me a huge amount of money to talk about this blush. Even though I loved it, I turned it down. Because I'm like, just my audience knowing that they're paying me to talk about it, it's going to come off unauthentic.
Yeah.
And they're not going to believe me. And my audience believing in me has always been my number one thing.
Yeah.
To the point that I did not even monetize my videos for several years on YouTube, which is actually insane.
Yeah.
But I did not monetize and put ads in my videos for like 4 years because I didn't want people to think that the only reason I was posting a YouTube video is just for the money and just for the ad clicks. So that's where my head was at. Can you tell I'm a people pleaser and I really want my audience to know how authentic I am?
Yeah.
I've always been so grateful for this job and the income that comes with it that I'm like, it's okay. I don't have to make that much money because I just want my audience to like believe in me and trust me so that there's longevity in this career.
Yeah.
So with that being said, I was so particular about these lipsticks being perfect. Okay. And they weren't. Long story short, we launched with hundreds of thousands of SKUs. We sold hundreds of thousands of SKUs and there was defects in them. There was air bubbles in some, there was little white fuzzies on some. They weren't perfect. After, my team did a deep dive on everything, factually what happened was 2% of them were considered defective, but that 2% was so loud on the internet that you would think that I released like 5 million lipsticks covered in hair. It got so bad. There were so many videos of people talking about these, claiming that there was animal hair in them, that there was feces in them, that there was mold in them, that they were making people sick.
Glass, plastic, like.
And I could not turn on my phone without seeing something about me. And it wasn't just about the lipsticks. People took it to such a place. People were digging into my father, being like, oh, well, he was a narcissist and she's just like her father. she's a narcissist just like him. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree. And they were digging into my mom and trying to talk bad about me as a daughter and talk bad about me as a sister. I mean, it was not just about makeup. Like it became so brutal. It was nothing short of online bullying. But don't get me wrong, some of them were defective, period, 100%. And what drove me crazy internally is I never was able to get to the bottom of it. I'm not a chemist. I'm not in the lab making these lipsticks.
Yeah.
Taylor's like, wait, what?
This is the part where I'm confused.
Yeah, give it to me.
I get how this would, hurt and destroy you, but I don't. Do people think you purposely did this?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. That's interesting. Do people think that you are the person in the factories, like in charge of everything?
Yes.
That's where I'm confused.
And that's the biggest thing about the industry that our dear friend is in, is it is an unforgiving.
Yeah.
No, like, I just feel like the makeup world is just like, for some reason, it's
the Wild West.
They say, have you ever heard the beauty community is the ugliest one?
I haven't, but that's
like
true.
A very known thing. It's sad.
Okay,
it's really
so that's
sad.
a thing, because in my mind, I'm going, there's recalls on cars all the time. Well, there's, like freaking food, like things go wrong, and it doesn't destroy companies.
Yeah.
It's normal.
Well, it was very hard because obviously I'm not a chemist. I'm not in the lab. I was speaking to them on the phone nonstop. Keep in mind that the lab that I labbed at was a impeccable lab. If you knew Cosmetic Labs and I told you the name, you'd be like, what? Like, everybody who makes makeup in the industry knows behind the scenes who I lab with, and they're shocked. They're like, I'm sorry, they're the ones that this happened with? Like, how? Because everybody makes makeup there.
Yeah.
So it's not like I was working with some back alley lab, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
well, I mean, just knowing you too, like, I know you would, like, you are a perfectionist and you do.
Yeah, and my
like,
team was perfectionists. My investors were perfectionists, So I talked to the owner, I'm talking to the chemist, and everyone's like, no, there's not mold. It is scientifically impossible. And I'm like, well, there's this video with 6 million views where they test it, and they are saying that there is mold in these lipsticks, and I'm losing my mind. They're like, it is scientifically, the chemists are laughing. They're like, these people aren't chemists. There's no mold in this. And they're laughing, and they're like, just don't watch those videos. I'm like, you don't get it. This is my whole world right now.
Yeah.
Like, this is everything I've ever wanted, everything I've ever saved for.
Yeah.
Is being destroyed.
It was
by
her
this
baby.
perception of the internet.
And I think for you and for the people who like aren't familiar with this era and what was going on, the landscape at that time of the beauty community was crazy, because there were these things called gossip channels that were like very, very poppin' at the time. And they were basically like people who would,
Report everything.
Report
like
on stuff, but not everything is factual, right? There's a lot, as is the regular news. There's assumptions, there's theories, and these things are getting just as many views, if not more, than the people that the videos are made about. Right. You know what I mean? It's controversy. Right. So it's like every single day we're getting, we pop up YouTube and it's like new gossip channel videos, and they're all just ripping her to pieces, and the comments are ripping her to pieces. And like, not for nothing, but like, Jaclyn is not a public speaker. She's not a chemist. She'll sit here and tell you, she's like, I'm not meant to be a businesswoman or a business owner. So when you've got somebody who's panicked because their product that they've just spent the last 5-6 years, working on, it's their baby, they launch it, and then it literally gets shot down like this, she's in a panic herself, because she doesn't have the answers, and she's relying on, partners and lab people and all these other people to get these answers. And she's just relaying the message to her followers in a panic. If we could go back in time, I think both of us would agree that if she had just like paused and been like, hey, give me a couple weeks, let me get to the bottom of this, things would have went a lot differently. But because there was just this like panic and people demanding answers and all these crazy videos, like, dude, there were videos where people were like, had her lipsticks, they would sit them down and they were wearing hazmat suits with microscopes. Like that, they took it that far, and these things were getting millions and millions of views. And she's just sitting on the couch bawling her eyes out, dude.
Scream crying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I imagine that's a pretty, like, hopeless feeling of not, you know the quality and the standard and everything that you've put into this product, and you know the actual facts. But meanwhile, you know, you can say the facts and post as many videos as you want, but
they're going to watch what they want to watch and believe what they want to believe. And just so you know, Taylor, I did give a full refund to every single person who purchased my lipsticks.
You refunded all lipstick?
Every penny. Wow. Every single penny. People were in my DMs all nonstop. Please do not refund me. I love my lipsticks. I'm so happy with them. Please restock. I want more. I'm almost out. And I refunded everybody. Wow. And everyone. My investors were like, this is going to hurt us so bad. This is our first launch and you want to take this kind of hit? I'm like, correct. Because I was in such a panic mode. So panicked. I'm like, every single person is getting a refund. I can't sleep at night.
Yeah.
You know?
Wow. And it didn't help that we were so detached in the sense of like, business was going on in California and we lived on the other side of the country. You know what I mean? So it's like we're just on phone calls and waiting. And it was just, dude, it was a nightmare.
It was so bad. It was so awful. And then I shut down all my social media for 30 days.
I was going to ask.
That's how I responded, which was so, I don't want to say stupid because I don't want to be mean to that version of me, but I just would never do that now.
Yeah.
But I shut down my social media for 30 days because, I mean, I'm telling you, I could not log on to any app. I wouldn't go searching for it. Just getting on any app, just in general. I mean, I was trending on Twitter, everything. It's just, and so I've said many times that was the hardest thing I ever went through. And people are like, she's so selfish. She says that that's the hardest thing she ever went through, even though she's been through loss and she's been through death. And I'm like, yeah, it's the hardest thing I've been through. Millions of people, thousands upon thousands, hundreds of thousands of people are not just telling me I did something bad in business, but they're telling me I'm a piece of shit. I'm a liar. They're calling me every name you can possibly think of. The nastiest things you can say about a person, I was being told about myself every single time I turned on my phone. If I went to YouTube just to go search up a recipe, I would have to see first the front page being videos about Jaclyn Hill being a scumbag, Jaclyn Hill being a narcissist just like her father. It's just like, non-stop. So the way that would affect you to the point that Jordan's friends and him were at a movie theater. A local movie theater. And there's a bar at this movie theater. And they were talking to the bartender.
So we had actually, at this point in time, we lived in Beverly Hills. We were getting some work done on our house. And we were like, let's go to Beverly Hills and we'll collab with people and get work done while they finish the house. So I was going back and forth because I still had my business back home, and I had met up with my friends and I was like, oh, let's go catch a movie while I'm in town. So we were at this movie theater and we were sitting at the bar, and it's the same movie theater that, you know, she had rented out the entire room for like all of our family and friends to go watch a premiere. I know we did it for like Endgame and Aladdin. So
I loved it.
Yeah. So it was like our local movie theater, and we were sitting at the bar, and I remember it was for the American Influencer Awards because I had flown back to get my tux done.
Yeah.
And we were talking about it, and the bartender at the bar was like, what are you talking about? I was like, oh, we're doing this red carpet, me and my wife, for the American Influencer Awards. And he goes, yo, that's crazy. There's an influencer that used to come into this movie theater all the time. And I was like, oh, yeah? He's like, yeah. She used to like rent the theater out. She thought she was the shit. But dude, she launched this makeup thing and it completely crashed and burned. And now she's a nobody. And I was just like looking at him. I was like, dang. And I was like, that's my fiance.
No.
And he was just like, but it's like, dude, the bartender at our movie theater was talking about it. You know what I mean? And it's just like, it was insane.
That was the impact.
I still tipped him 20%, by the way.
Period. And that's my man. That's just the kind of man he is.
Oh my. Okay, I have two questions. One for you and then one for you. This refund thing is crazy to me. I'm trying to process that in my brain. That is
the business in Taylor right now is literally panicking.
I know. It's a lot of people's reactions.
Do you stand by that decision? If you had it all over again, would you do that same thing?
Oh, it's such a hard question, and I've never actually thought about that. I would say no, because I would change the way I did every single thing. If I was forced to go relive that moment and launch those same lipsticks, I would change everything. Yeah. So I would say no. I probably would not do that refund.
Okay.
I would have taken that money and I would have continued to create incredible products, which we did. But it was very hurtful and impactful to the company, as you can imagine.
Yeah, yeah.
and I would have done things differently. I also would not have just relied on my whole team to tell me what to do. I would have been like, hey, I am actually the boss. I'm going to like stop and reflect and figure this out with my followers. And I would have done things differently for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, the people pleaser in you, you don't want to let anyone down.
Yeah.
So you panicked.
I was also not clear-minded during this time. This is when my drinking picked up like that. This is when it went from like fun, let's like party on the weekends, to raging consumptions of alcohol, like breakfast, 8 a.m., waking up, vodka, orange juice immediately, all day, every day. So how the hell was I making these decisions in a state of mind like that? I'm panicked. Everything I'd ever worked for and dreamt of was crashing to the ground. The internet thought I was a piece of shit. And I'm just filling my body with vodka all day long. Like, what? It's not the place to be making decisions on refunding $2 million.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. We can get back to my question for Jordan later.
I wanted to talk more about your drinking and about that time, and just like, was it like, I guess, what was your drinking prior? Because I think it was, you kind of touched on it. It was more just like what everyone does when they're young and drinking is just going out, you know, with your friends and doing it that way. Yeah. I guess, can you bring us a little more into like what that day-to-day looked like when it started picking up?
Absolutely. I started drinking during my divorce in a fun way.
Okay.
Because when I was married to my ex, I did not really drink. I did a little bit here and there, but towards the end I started drinking because I started being like, I want to have a good time. I want to enjoy my life.
Yeah.
And so when I was going through my divorce, I started partying. There was nothing concerning. No one was like, this is weird. I'd take a girls trip to Vegas. I'd party. I'd drink. You know what I mean?
Right.
Have friends over on the weekends, swim in the pool. Like, whoa, have a good time, drink, you know?
Yeah.
Started dating him. He wasn't a big drinker at all.
I went to college, so I got all my drinking out of the way. And
I
then my
never
brother
had that
died from
phase.
it. So I was just kind of like jaded. I had my own unhealthy relationship with alcohol in the sense of like I just did not want to touch it at all.
So after your brother passed, because I feel like people either go one way or the other.
Right.
Right? Like
Right.
you were the one that was like, I don't want to mess with that.
Yeah. Because in college, I partied. Like we went out all the time, drank, dorm parties, all that. So it's like
But
I had
normal college party.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then obviously he passed, and then I just got jaded towards alcohol in general, and I would still drink, but it was like more like on a special occasion type vibe.
Okay.
Yeah.
And when he met me, that wasn't like an issue. Like my drinking was not a problem. You know, I just would drink to have fun. He would
I would.
be there with me. He'd have a drink or two. I'd have a few drinks. And it was just a good, normal, jolly old time. There was nothing to be concerned about.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's how it was for a while. That's that. And then lipsticks happened. And I mean, it was overnight. Like overnight, it was like, oh, I don't understand this mindset. Looking back on it, I'm like, girl, because I thought that it was helping and numbing me.
Right.
It made things so much worse.
The weed.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought when you said the weed, I thought you meant like marijuana. I was like, I wasn't smoking weed.
No, sorry.
Our metaphorical weed.
Our medical
You would have been the weed whipper
Yes.
in that situation.
Correct. And like I said, I was just drinking all day, every day. And you can see that period of my life, not to make it about physical, but let's get real. I mean, I just bloated and got so inflamed and gained so much weight so quickly. I mean, you guys, during that time, the amount of alcohol that I was drinking, you know, like a handle of Tito's,
Yeah.
like the big one. I was going through one handle in like 3 days.
Oh my god.
And a handle would be two full bottles.
Something like that.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
Right.
Yeah, that freaking big thing.
Yeah.
So that's why I reference this time of my life when I say it was the hardest time of my life. Like I don't want to like say a trigger word, but I'll just say I did not want to live at that point. I was genuinely, I remember telling my mom, don't worry about me because I'm not going to do it, but I pray every single night that I don't wake up the next day. That's where I was at.
Yeah.
And I'm able to talk about it now in a more lighthearted way because I've healed from it. And like I said, we talked about something so much bigger in hindsight on the last episode. But that's where I was at. I mean, I did not care to live anymore. That's where it put me. I was like, everything I've ever wanted and hoped for. I just saw my life being over at 30 years old. It was just like,
Yeah.
Two things. So one, while I feel like this is just like a great point to bring up, while she's going through all this, she did put on like a ton of weight and it became apparent, but it's like, not only were people calling her out on that, but now all these videos are coming up being like Jaclyn Hill's face full of filler. And it's just
I dealt with that.
And I'm just like, and we're not saying anything because, right, if you acknowledge it, it gets bigger. But I'm just like, oh my God, this girl is going through so much. And now she's got these videos online of like plastic surgeons diagnosing, clearly you can see here she had filler put in her cheeks. And I'm just like, you got to be kidding me.
Botox gone wrong. That's why she looks like a chipmunk. And it's like, here I am, like on the verge of dying from how much alcohol I'm consuming.
Like,
and now
I'm
they're
just trying
calling
to
me
mask
fat.
my pain.
Yeah. And I think another because some people might listen to this and watch this and just be like, well, just turn YouTube off. But at this point in Jaclyn's life, like we had been dating not that long. So Jaclyn Hill online was Jaclyn.
Yeah.
Like she
And it
did
was my identity.
Her identity was not, there was not like online Jaclyn and Jaclyn in real life. So like watching her image get burned to the ground was actually her, like, it was her. Yeah. So now there's a healthy balance there. Mm-hmm. In retrospect, that would have been nice at the time. But yeah, dude, like she was literally watching like the death of herself unfold online. And it just sent her into this like spiraling depression. It was insane.
I feel like we are all in our wellness era. I constantly am seeing my friends online, people that I follow, just posting about wellness, whether it be working out, eating healthy, using sunscreen, just truly taking care of ourselves this summer. And something that I've been using this summer and many summers, honestly, every season of my life for the past couple of years is Seeds DS-01 Daily Symbiotic. You guys, I cannot recommend a product more. If you followed me, if you've listened to this podcast, I have said it many times. I've said the same sentence many times, and I'm going to keep saying the same sentence because the differences that I've seen in my body from Seeds DS-01 Daily Symbiotic has been insane. I've truly been taking it for years, and it has changed my life. Like, truly. My digestion is just so much better. My skin is so much better. It's crazy what one little pill can do. It's so easy to fit into your routine. I take mine every morning, and I would just recommend Seed over other products because it actually works. Like the differences when I had it were noticeable within a week. Like it's crazy what this product does. And if you're struggling with any digestion, regularity problems, skin problems, you guys need to try this product out. It is something that I recommend truly everyone that I come into contact with. My family is on it because I've made them get on it and they love it. My friends have started taking it because of me. It's truly just such a great product. So support your gut this summer with Seeds DS-01 Daily Symbiotic. You can go to seed.com/thesqueeze and use code 25thesqueeze to get 25% off your first month. That's 25% off your first month of Seeds DS-01 Daily Symbiotic at seed.com/thesqueeze, code 25thesqueeze.
For you, being you guys were just dating at that point.
Yeah.
But being the partner to somebody and watching them go through something like that, what did life look like for you during that time? Because I imagine you also felt pretty hopeless. And just not being able to protect and save her in that moment.
I literally couldn't do anything. Like I was jumping on like the calls with, the labs and the partners and trying to help. But like outside of that, the fallout that she was dealing with like online and in her life, there literally was nothing that I could do besides just like be there. You know what I mean? Because I don't want to say like my words fell on deaf ears, but it's like she had to go through the grief, right? Because at the end of the day, that's what it was. It was just extreme grief. And it's like she had to go through that on herself. And, she would always ask me, like, why are you with me? Why are you with me?
Right.
Every day.
Yeah.
Every day.
And she was always like, I don't know why you're with me. And I always told her, like, I even made a video for her 1 year of sobriety.
I was going to tell this story.
Yeah. Where I was just like, I always told you, like, you'll be back. You'll be back. Because honestly, before the lipsticks happened, the life that like I got to experience with her as my partner was just like the love, the relationship, the laughs, the deepness. It was just like so beautiful. It was like storybook. And it got snatched away from both of us. And I always knew, like, hey, this is temporary. And although it's bad right now, and like, God forbid her career is over, like, she will eventually come out of this and I'll have that girl back.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't about the career for me. It was about who Jaclyn was inside.
Back.
Yeah. And I just always told her, like, I know you don't feel this right now, but you'll be back. I promise you'll be back.
Wow.
In my video that he made last week, which they were a part of, you guys sent in such a sweet, beautiful clip.
Jaclyn recently celebrated 1 year of
We'll
sobriety.
get into it. But
He said that in the video. He said, I've always told you that you'll be back and you're back and you're better than ever. I bawled my eyes out.
Yeah.
I asked him every night of our lives for like 3 years, why are you with me? I'm so fat. I bring nothing to the table and everyone hates me. Why are you with me? And he's like, because you'll be back. This is a hard time. And one day I'm going to go through a hard time. I know I will. And I know that you love me enough to sit through this just like I am.
Wow.
Yeah. This man really deserves
It was
an
tough,
award.
dude. And, I'll say this, like, there's a silver lining in everything, right? And although that was miserable to go through me as her partner, just watching her have to go through everything, but obviously more for her. But like, we genuinely pulled so many gems out of that storm.
100%.
Like, just separating her internet life versus her real life, like making that boundary mentally, and just like all the retrospect, like I grew up, I had to grow up so much. Yeah. Like those 2 years, I swear I matured 20 years. Like that changed me in a completely different way.
Yeah.
And there's so many little things that I could say that came out of that. But yeah, dude, it was really a crazy time. And like, I'm so happy that chapter is closed. But it was insane.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like on my deathbed, I'll remember that era because it was terrible.
Yeah.
What was the turning point for you that made you stop drinking?
I looked at myself in the mirror and I did not recognize myself physically and emotionally. I had become someone that I hated. I had become someone that I, previously in life would have judged. I'm like, if I was not me right now and I did not if I was not walking in my shoes, I would be looking at me being like, get it together. Like, I would not want to be friends with me right now.
Yeah.
I felt all that so deeply and I hit my rock bottom. I hit that point where I'm like, what am I doing? This is just, and as it goes back to I always think about this, like, you have to choose your hard, right? Like drinking every day, gaining weight, being just like so inflamed. It's hard, right? It's so hard. Quitting drinking, deciding to get up and go on a long walk and work out. It's hard. So which hard do you want? Like, choose your hard. Which one? Because this is not easy. Me sitting here in this depression and sulking and not taking care of myself. This is not easy. So why am I doing this? So I was like, I'm going to choose a different version of hard. And it was extremely difficult.
Yeah.
Extremely.
I was going to ask, because you've talked about how, like, when you first stopped, you were just going to do it for a month, right?
Yeah.
And then you got a month and you were like, I'm going to do it for 3 months.
Yeah.
And then you got 3 months and you said, I want to go for a year.
Yep.
How difficult was that first? Because I imagine the first month is terrible. And even the first 3 months is terrible. So what within you was like, this is so terrible that I'm going to go for it.
Right? Okay, so first of all, I want to say I was very strongly advised by people to not tell my audience how much I was drinking. I was very strongly advised, like, don't open up about this. Don't consider it an alcohol problem. You know, say, I was just having a glass of wine a night. Keep it light. And I'm like, what? Like, but that's not the truth. And I've always been so authentic with my audience. Like, what?
Yeah.
And so at first I kind of took that approach. I wanted to be like careful about it online.
Yeah.
And now that I'm a year into it, I'm like, you guys are going to know everything. Because now I'm aware of how many people struggle in a very real, very deep way with alcohol. And at the end of the day, we're all playing with fire. Like, alcohol is poison. I'm sorry. And I'm saying this as someone who thoroughly enjoyed being drunk and buzzed and all the things. But like, you are playing with fire. It's poison. It's not good for you. It makes you feel great in the moment, feel like shit the next day. It's so highly addictive. It screws up your brain. And yet we're all doing it for fun, you know? So it's like, let's have a real conversation. Let's talk about this. And I think that our generation is like the first generation to really have open conversation about, like, I'm drinking mocktails. I'm detoxing my body. The brain clarity that I'm having, the way it's helping my anxiety, the way it's helping me sleep. I'm getting better workouts in. It's like, I am so proud to be in this generation because, like, we're so health conscious in the best way possible. What?
I'm just so proud of you.
Thank you, babe. You're so sweet the way you're looking at me. I'm like, oh, stop looking at me. I forgot what I was saying because I saw that look in his eyes.
She's got the butterflies.
I did get a little butterfly. Anyways, what was the question?
Just what that first like month,
Yes.
like that first couple months were like for you, and what made you want to keep going?
So I was trying to hide that first month a little bit. I only like documented certain parts because that first month was insane. It was so hard. The night that I decided, I poured out the bottle of Tito's and I was like, we're done. Because at that point, I was genuinely only having a couple of drinks a night, like two cocktails a night. And I was like, I'm ready. I'm done. It was right after my birthday. I felt like alcohol ruined my birthday and it ruined my trip to New York. And I was like, I watched a Jay Shetty podcast with Tom Holland and I was so inspired by the way Tom Holland spoke about sobriety.
Yeah.
It was such an attractive outlook on life that I was like, I want to feel that so bad. And I know I can.
Yeah.
And I used to always tell Jordan, like, I miss who I used to be. And I want to get that girl back so bad, but I didn't see a light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
I was like, let's just try this out for a month.
Yeah.
And it took everything. I mean, I was drinking, you know, there's this drink Beam, which you guys know Beam. I was drinking that every single night to help put me to sleep. I was taking melatonin baths. I was working out twice a day, going on walks, going and getting in HIIT workouts, making myself sweat. I mean, I was doing the absolute most to wear myself out, to calm myself down. And then I wanted to go just a couple of nights. And then I'm like, a couple of nights and I'm like, I'm going a full week. And Jordan's like, you are? I'm like, yeah, I'm going a full week. And he was like so impressed.
Yeah, I was hype. I was like, what?
And I was like, I used to do this all the time. I used to just go a whole week and not even think about alcohol. So I'm going to do it now. And I wanted to go a month. And he's like, a whole month? And then I went to my therapist.
Yep.
She was like, I want you to go a whole year.
Oh.
And I was like, I will be damned. And she was like, I want you to go a whole year because you're going to be shocked. She's like, if you go 1 year, you're going to look back at 2 and 3 months and be like, wow, I was still so weak compared to now. And she was like, just try it, go a whole year. So I did go a whole year. I texted my therapist back in Tampa and told her, I was like, today's the 1 year mark.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Her text was so beautiful, so sweet.
Wow.
And just like, I can't believe I did it, but it was really her that pushed me to do that. And that's why I'm such a huge advocate for therapy. It's like, sometimes you need that outside party just to like really kick your ass.
Yeah.
And be like, listen, it's cute that you want to go a month or two, but like, you're going to go a whole year. She's like, if you really love yourself that much, you're going to go a whole year. And now that I'm here, I am so grateful that I did not give in at 3 months or 4 months or 5 months, because my relationship and outlook on alcohol now is so different than it was 6-7 months ago.
yeah.
Yep.
And now I'm genuinely like, I do not need it. I don't desire it. I don't care about it. We're done.
Yeah.
I think it's also worth mentioning, she's not giving herself the credit that she needs to, but during that whole era where she was like drinking a lot and going through the lipsticks, she also dealt with like massive anxiety, like it like didn't get out of bed for days type anxiety. And it's like, again, we bring up the weed because, you know, she asked me like, how come it didn't bother you? Like, you know, your brother passed away from alcohol abuse and like, you know, I'm drinking a lot, because I was like, there's a root to this. Like, you're not just drinking because you like alcohol or you like to be drunk. Like, there's there's a root cause to this. And in order for her to get to the point where she was only had a couple drinks a night and then poured the bottle out, she had to put in so much work on herself. The thing, I say it all the time, the thing that saved her life was neurofeedback. There was a neurofeedback office that was a few minutes away from our house. And like, she was so anxious at that point that she couldn't even leave the house. So the fact that it was just around the corner, she started going. And then that was basically her attacking anxiety head on, right? Like that's what helped her balance her brain out, get over the anxiety, like work through that. And like when she got to that point, then she started exercising. And it's like, then she started sewing into herself, taking care of herself. And she probably did a minimum year of that work before she even got to the point where she was like, I'm done drinking. So it was like a year and a half of just her putting in work on herself, eating clean, dieting, in order to get to the point where she could be like, I'm done drinking.
Got it.
So it was, there's a lot more to it. Like you put in so much more work than you give yourself credit for.
Right.
Thanks, baby.
Seriously. No, that's why I say it all the time. I'm like, you're a champion. Like you're such a beast.
Thank you.
And here we are. You did it. You celebrated a year.
I did. I can't believe it, actually.
Proud of you.
My former self
So
is like,
proud of you.
what? A year without alcohol? Oh my God. Insane.
Jord, what's the biggest change you have seen in Jaclyn since sobriety?
When I tell you she is a different person, she's a different person. You know, it was all consuming at one point, you know, and it's just it's not like that anymore. If I look at the very end of when she was drinking a couple cocktails a night, which I think a lot of people can relate to, you know, hard day at work, I'm gonna go have a glass of whiskey at the bar. I'm gonna go have a couple beers when I get home. Like that's the American standard, I feel like, you know?
Yeah.
I would say the biggest difference in her is her excitement to live.
Yeah.
It's like she wakes up every day with a sparkle in her eye and a fire under her ass, which just was not like that, even when it's a couple drinks, you know what I mean? And she's just so happy, dude. Like she's happy, she's thriving, she's Jaclyn. She's back to, I could bawl my eyes out right now if I wanted to, but
Sweet angel.
yeah, she's back to herself, you know?
Yeah.
I love you.
Ooh, I'm proud of you.
Oh, I love you so much. I love you. I want to say, Taylor. I want to say that for me, I know you didn't ask me, but I'm going to chime in so that he doesn't start crying too hard. I just want to say that this past year, the biggest difference in myself that I've noticed is you can't cancel me now.
Ooh, that's a bar.
I'm being serious. I didn't mean for it to like come off like that, but genuinely, that you can make any videos you want and make as much money off of, you know, hating on me and speculating and whatever it may be. Because guess what? I have the option to shut down all my social medias and walk away. And I did literally not see that as an option ever.
Yeah.
My entire identity was in my online presence. And now my entire identity has nothing to do with that. That's something that I choose to do. I love my loyal followers. I'm so excited to share recommendations with them and have that online community and that presence. But like, I genuinely no longer look. I don't care. You have something to say about me. You don't know me. You can't cancel me. And if it gets really dark online and affects my mental health, bye-bye.
Yeah.
Bye-bye. I have a savings account. I'm here because I want to be.
Yeah.
And the next thing I do, I'll do it because I want to be. I want to be doing it. And that's it.
And that's growth.
And I'm the happiest I've ever been online, ever. I love
can
what
tell.
I do now.
You can tell. I feel like you just, because obviously before this, I was watching some of your older YouTube videos, and I'm not just saying it, like I genuinely feel like you can tell. Like you can just, there is that sparkle in your eye. Like you're present, you're here, and you're like excited about it.
Thank you. It makes me so happy.
It's really,
and it's
really
not
special.
fake this time. It was fake for so many years. So many years.
Yeah. Quick little thing that, something that you've shared is like, you know, there's a big misconception about like, you know, something you struggled with was like, am I still going to be fun if I quit drinking? Like, I don't want to, you know, not be fun. And I feel like that's something a lot of people can relate to.
Oh, yeah.
What advice would you give to someone that is battling, like they want to quit drinking, they want to be sober, but they have that thought in their head?
I am going to be so real, like a big older sister would be, and not fluff it up.
Yeah.
You probably won't be as fun for a while.
Okay.
And that's okay. That's why do you feel the need to show up and be the most fun person in the room? Why is it your job to entertain your friends?
Yeah.
Are they only friends with you because you're entertaining, because you're fun, because you're funny? You don't have to have this jolly old time all the time. You can take a month or two off and cry it out and feel your pain and heal your wounds and not have as much fun and not be as fun for the long-term goal, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
I was not as fun at first. I was not a good time. I lost a lot of friends because of that. You know, I said it, I did like a Q&A on my story this week and I said it, you know, not everybody wants the best for you. They just want to have fun with you. And that's okay. They're in your life for a season and that's okay. But you probably won't be as fun there for a while. But I now have more fun than I ever had. I still consider myself to be the life of the party. I show up, I karaoke until 3:00 in the morning. I dance my ass off. I sweat my makeup off and I wake up the next morning and I can go to Pilates at 8 a.m. if I want because I feel so good.
Yeah. That's so true.
But it took a while to get there.
Yeah, so that was just the not being fun part was just a
it's a period in time. And like
now you're through that.
exactly.
Yeah. You definitely still are the life
So I was
of
going to
the
say,
party.
I mean,
In the best way. In the best way.
it's very much a butterfly moment. You know what I mean? You go into that cocoon and you got to rebuild. You got to recreate
Just
yourself.
over here with his bars. He's just, now I'm a butterfly. I'm like, yes, me, come here.
fly, Jack, fly.
No, seriously, it was like that 4, 5, 6 month mark. It's like she just came out of her shell, and it was just like, holy, she's back.
Right.
She's back. I went to Ireland to go film Next Level Chef, and when I left, at that point, she had gone 2 months without a drink, and then when I came back, she had lost like 10 or 15 pounds
In 5
just,
weeks.
In 5 weeks, and just looked like insanely different, behaved insanely different. I was just like, whoa.
I know he couldn't stop talking about like the first 2 days he was home. He's just like, I can't stop looking at you. You look so different. You're behaving so different.
With her only 2 months in, were you afraid to leave?
No, I wasn't, because at that point she was so like set in her ways, and she had those conversations with her therapist, and she was surrounded by.
He also shipped me off to Linda. So I was in California with Linda for 5 weeks, and Linda is like would never allow me to have a sip. She's like locked up all the alcohol, like not on my watch, bitch.
Yeah.
So I was here with her, and we just literally did our Legree every day, went on our walks, ate our healthy food. Like she supported me that whole time.
Wow.
Like my sister. Yeah.
That's her wife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's my wife. That's her wife.
Yeah.
Yesterday I was about to leave with Linda, and he's like, yeah. How was it put? Oh, I said I'm leaving my husband to go to my wife's house.
Funny. That's funny.
Accurate.
And that's such a huge thing. And I will have to say that is something I had to my advantage, and I fully I own that. Like I lost a lot of people, which was hard, but I had an incredible support system.
Yeah.
And so I cannot imagine how hard, because I know people that have to do it, how hard it is to get through alcoholism, addiction without a support system. Like that's a different beast.
Yeah.
Being able to talk to people is a huge part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's when that's when you start talking about it, that's step one.
Oh yeah.
You know, because she didn't talk about it at all for a long time.
No one does. That's what I'm saying. Like it's so unfair. There's alcohol everywhere you go. Okay, 6 a.m. at the airport, everyone's drinking. There's alcohol everywhere, but yet it's not okay to get addicted to it, even though it's such a highly addicting substance. We're only supposed to use it for partying, but then once we become addicted to it and we have an issue, we have to like keep it in the closet and not talk about it.
Yeah.
Like what the hell is that all about? We need to be having more conversation about that, because even if it doesn't get to the point of where it got for me, it's like the majority of people in my life have had an alcohol issue.
Yeah.
But no one wants to talk about it, and no one wants to say they have a problem.
Yeah.
Like, why?
Yeah.
We need to be talking about this more.
Yeah. It's part of the problem.
For sure. Well, thank you for talking about it. You were literally advised not to, and here you are.
I know.
So thank you.
Those people are no longer in my life.
Bye-bye.
Just going rogue.
Okay. some fun stuff.
Okay, cute.
What's
Great.
next for you both?
Should we tell them?
Imagine if I had a pregnancy announcement right now.
world?
Imagine the views. numbers.
I would literally pass away. Hey, you are a businesswoman. It is the business in you. I mean, do you want to share a little bit of fun stuff about Jordan? Because you're literally his number one fan.
I am Jordan's number one fan.
Aside from Jaclyn, obviously, but
Get out of here.
Yeah, sorry. I'm Jordan's number 2
Can
fan.
I just say really quickly? Okay, so our mutual friend PK, talking to the audience, is the reason that we're all friends in the first place. PK and Mike, it was their wedding. But he said to us last year, he's like, listen, when we're with the Taylors, they are obsessed with you. And when we're with you guys, you are obsessed with them. So can you guys please just become best friends already?
So funny.
Because like we just had brief interactions and I'm like, I love them so much.
oh
Thank you, Mike and PK.
yes,
Yes.
We've made it happen.
yes.
But no, Jordan is an insane chef. And I am an very amateur chef. I'm not even a chef. I just cook for fun. But Jordan has become my go-to text message, recipe.
We'll leave a link to his YouTube channel below in the description.
Oh my
because
gosh.
Taylor watches a lot of those videos.
He's, oh yeah, I'll just be like, have you ever made a
whole chicken?
whole
that
chicken,
night, the whole chicken night.
scallops, a New York steak sandwich, and he's always made whatever I'm asking for. So he just sends me his YouTube video and then is like, FaceTime me and call me, throughout.
Yeah.
And he has changed my cooking game.
You
But
really have.
he also recently was on a show called Next Level Chef. Which our bestie Gordon Ramsay is on.
I know. He's like, I'm not even a chef. I'm like, yeah, Gordon's in your DMs.
Hi, chef.
And he came in the final 4 as a social media chef. There's literal like Michelin star restaurant owner chefs in this show.
Yeah.
And Jordan, cooks on social media and came in the final 4 on the show. It's unbelievable and such a testament to truly how talented he is.
Oh, thanks, dude.
So I'm just, I'm the biggest fan of you, but I'm so excited for your future as well. So
Thank you.
Me too.
Yeah,
Appreciate
I guess
it.
just what are there dreams, goals, hopes? Will you do makeup again? Or are you
So,
gonna-
wow, this is me speaking so candid because I'm just so comfortable here in your house. As of right now, there is nothing in the works for anything. Like right now, I'm just like, where's the wind going to blow me? I know wherever it is, it's going to be great. We're really, really excited to start a family.
Yeah.
Want to expand our dog family.
Yeah.
Love our home so much, focusing on just like creating more, making that even more of a home by decorating, and want to create an incredibly beautiful backyard and get it ready for to be just like such a safe space for babies, and travel more. And I definitely am not done with makeup. Definitely. I will redo my lipsticks. I will. I actually did redo them. I don't know if you saw that. I posted it on Instagram.
Oh wait, I think I did.
I did a full photo shoot and everything, like fully reformulated, repackaged. I redid the whole thing, had a terrible gut feeling about it. We had one little slip up happen. I said, pull it. We're not doing this. Oh. And my team agreed with me. They're like, no, we're not taking a chance because it just needs to be so perfect. And the timing wasn't right. I was just still drinking, still not where I wanted to be. I'm like, it's just not right. So at one point, I will launch the Redemption Collection. I will launch that. And I swear, I'm going to call it that.
I've literally just got chills actually everywhere in my body.
I'm going to. I have like a whole marketing campaign. It's going to happen. And I don't know if I'll do it on my own. If I did it on my own, I would have partners. I'd be very honest, like and vocal about that because I'm never going to like own my own business right out.
Yeah.
It's not meant for me. I see what it did to me. It might be a collaboration. I have no clue. But at one point, I do want to do that. I would love to create a perfume one day. Like,
you need to do that.
Really want
That's
to do
very
that.
on brand for you.
But I'd also be really cool with being a mom and supporting him. Like I'm in awe by how talented he is. Like it's crazy. You guys, he did not cook when I met him. Did not cook. Owned his own business and did filming for people and video and photography, and that's it. He did not cook at all.
My entire cooking journey is based on a lie that I told her.
Period.
We had been dating, and I was just like, "Oh, I can cook, right?" And she was just like, really?
I thought it was
and I was
the
like,
hottest thing.
Yeah.
I was like,
and for some reason, it's so funny because I didn't even know what it mean. But I always used to tell people like, oh, I can make a mean eggplant parmesan because I thought it sounded so like, whoa. And my grandma used to make it.
like duck coffee.
That's what I told her. And then I just started watching YouTube videos and I was like, oh, this could be better. And then I started like tweaking recipes that I was making from other people. And she's like, yo, you're so good at this. Why don't you just film yourself? And I was like, absolutely not. And she's like, no, I think you should try it. So I did. And here we are.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that was only like, what, 4 years ago?
Yeah.
Jeez.
I was going to say in like 4.5 years, you went from starting to cook for the first time to being on Team Ramsay. Like that's how fast it happened.
That's so crazy.
It went quick.
Yeah, dude. Like I couldn't even cook eggs 4 years ago.
That is nuts.
I would love to
So
sit back and watch him
you're
take off.
in your lane. You're like, this is where you're supposed
You know
to
what's
be.
so crazy is my life, not to go too deep down a rabbit hole, but I feel like my lane changes all the time. I'm just like a creative guy. Like it was battle rap and then it was music and then it was like video production. Like I produced, like I have like awards for commercials that I've shot. Like I used to shoot all her big campaigns and then it was into this cooking thing and it's like I'm really good at it. I always say I'm an entertainer first and I'm a cook second. I just happen to be really good at cooking.
Yeah.
Because it's art at the end of the day. And like I've always been an artist.
And that's, I just want to cut you off really quickly. That's the difference between me and Jordan, which I actually appreciate. Is like online, I'm my true authentic self. And that is such an easy way to put yourself out there and get hurt and get canceled. Where Jordan, no one online knows who Jordan really is because he gives a persona.
Yeah.
Like he's like an entertainer first. So it's like he shows up to film and he's just stupid. He doesn't care. People in the comments are like, he's so cringe. He's like, hell yeah, I am. Ha ha ha. Because it's not really who he is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He just shows up and acts like a fool and has a good time cooking. But like no one can hurt him because they don't know him.
Yeah.
Where I just like, I'm like, this is who I am. My heart and soul.
Yeah.
Yeah. Love the cooking. I'm going to keep grinding it. If you know how I can get into voice acting, I would love to talk about that.
Might know a guy. Might know a guy.
All right. I have one more question for you guys, and then you are released.
Wow.
No, this has been
been a
this
good
has
day.
been so good, and I'm just so thankful for both of you. Just opening up and being so vulnerable, talking about, you know, some tough topics, but I know you both are, and this conversation is going to help so many people. So, first of all, thank you truly for being here. We love you guys so much.
Yeah.
You guys are so great. We love you too.
My final question for you, and it's for you both, is you both are, you know, getting to know you guys. You're both so strong individually, but you are truly unstoppable as a couple. Like when we look at you guys and your relationship and taking these two unbelievable individual humans and put you together, you guys are unstoppable.
That's so sweet. Thank you, man.
So sweet.
I want to ask both of you this, but Jaclyn, I'll start with you. Where would you be today without this man?
I'll be totally honest. I would probably not be alive. I'm being serious.
Okay.
I wouldn't have.
You want to make me cry?
I would not have made it. I would have offed myself. I would have done something very stupid. I would not be here. Absolutely not. And I think that anybody who is really close with me, if you ask my mom, my brother, Linda, if you pulled anyone who is like really close to me, they would say the same thing. There's absolutely no way. Wow. People were too afraid to even leave me alone. I would not be here. No. And that's why I say I can't imagine getting through what I went through without having someone by your side who really hears you and really sees you and believes in you. Because absolutely not. No. Yeah. Or I would just be like single and washed up and miserable. I said it. When I was going through my divorce. I remember talking to my mom and I was like, I will be single for the rest of my life. She's like, there's a very strong chance that you will be. I was like, that's fine. That is what it is. Because like, who's going to want to like, I just felt like I had so much baggage and so much damage and just, I just was like, I'm prepared to be single forever. And then like 2 weeks later, accidentally sent him a DM, by the way. Literally did not mean to. Accidentally sent him a DM, and that's how we started talking.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Here we are.
Here we are.
Wow, that's crazy.
You guys definitely were put in each other's lives for
Oh yeah.
this reason.
Yeah, for sure.
Where would you be?
Oh man, so like aside, like let's not even talk about like career wise. I think like one of the things that I'm most thankful for that I gained when we started dating, it took time, but honestly, like my relationship with God and Jesus, like I think I'm such a better man and human being because of her. I went through so much growth, so much maturity, struggle that I had to like be the rock for, you know what I mean? And it was just like I went through so much, and like that molded me into who I am. You know, I also have like God and Jesus now, you know, shout out my brother. This was his cross from when he was a little kid. And yeah, I don't know. I definitely wouldn't be where I am today though. That's for sure. I think that having such a strong, influential, powerful, beautiful, well-rounded woman by your side really like makes you have to like dig deep and be the best version of yourself that you can, because you just want to match that energy. And it's like at the end of the day, like I want to be in a place where it's like, just you're done, retire. Like, let me just take care of you. You know what I mean? And I can't say that I had that mindset before I was with her. You know what I mean? I was just very like, I don't want to say like self-centered, but I was just like very focused on. I told her like when we first started hanging out, I was like, just so you know, like I refuse to fall in love until I become successful. I told her that
I was
straight
like,
up.
LOL. Watch me do my thing.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, she's not lying.
She did her thing.
She did her thing, indeed.
Yeah.
Standing on business.
I feel like I've always had a good head on my shoulders. But if she never came in my life, I wouldn't be proud of who I am the way that I am now, because I'm the best version of myself that there's no one else in this world that could have made me the man that I am today except for her. So yeah, thank you.
Amen.
And that goes for everybody in my life. My relationship with my family, my sister, my mom, my dad, like I just like threw it behind me. Like after my brother, I was just like, whatever, like I'm gonna just do my thing in life. And like she just reinstilled those values in me. Like, hey, like get closer to God. Like that's your family. You only have them once. Like treat them right. You know what I mean? It's like she just like motivated me to just like do the right things in life, you know? And I'm so grateful for that. Seriously.
I love you.
I love you too.
You guys.
So beautiful.
You bring out the mushy gushy. I love it so much here at the squeeze. I love it.
Oh my gosh. Well, thanks for allowing us to lock you in here and filming with us. I mean, Taylor said it. We just absolutely love you guys. And it's just like, we're just so thankful to have you guys a part of our lives, because I feel like we truly just have been living very like we are very similar.
Yeah.
And it's so nice to just like have people that you genuinely like love and connect with and have the same, you know, values and view on life together.
And think about this. We would not be where we're at as a friend group if I was still drinking. Period. We wouldn't even be living here.
Yeah.
Wow. So for people who are contemplating giving up alcohol, that's what I would want to like be that as an inspiration of how far you can, the friends you can become friends with Taylor Lautner.
Oh my God.
He does turn into a werewolf after midnight.
Oh my gosh.
I kid.
I don't want to quote myself, but I think my favorite thing that I've said since she stopped drinking, I said this recently within the last couple of weeks. I said, think about this. Not one thing in your life is worse.
No.
Every single facet, everything is better.
Everything.
Wow.
Everything.
And that's with friendships lost, you know, that's with the times that weren't so fun. That's with everything.
Yeah.
A year later, every single thing is better.
Wow.
Sorry, I went back to the whole drinking thing.
No.
But it's
No,
so
that should
important
be
to
the-
me that's like my message for people watching this. Like if you're thinking of stopping, I just want to like inspire people so badly.
Wow. You're gonna.
I think you've done that.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
We love you guys.
Love you guys. Thank you for having us.
See you next week. Peace.